News out today, special counsel Jack Smith has filed a motion to dismiss the criminal charges against President-elect Donald Trump for both the federal election interference and the classified documents cases.
NBC's Alice Barr has more on this breaking news from Washington.
In an historic turn today, special counsel Jack Smith moving to drop the federal charges against President-elect Trump, both for allegations that he sought to illegally overturn the 2020 election in the lead up to the January 6th Capitol attack, and for the classified documents case involving boxes of sensitive material brought to Mar-a-Lago after the first Trump term, and allegations he obstructed justice in not giving them all back when the government asked. President-elect Trump denies all wrongdoing. Smith citing the president-elect's upcoming inauguration for a second term and the long-standing Justice Department policy that prohibits prosecuting a sitting president. Smith writing, quote, "That prohibition is categorical and does not turn on the gravity of the crimes charged, the strength of the government's proof, or the merits of the prosecution, which the government stands fully behind."
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. I don't know if anybody's heard, it's still kind of early in the day, but supposedly Jack Smith dropped the charges against Trump on the supposed January 6th insurrection charges that they had against him. Okay, I'm just getting news of this, so we're going to go through a couple of news outlets and see how they cover it. We're going to start with this one, and then I have two more to show. Of course, the bias, but I just want to, before I continue, I just want to thank all my new subscribers. So don't forget to all my new subscribers and all my subscribers. Forgive me, people. It's been a long, fast day. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So with that being said, right quickly, I want to jump right into this. I just want to read this right here where it says, where Jack Smith says that prohibition is categorical and does not turn on the gravity of the crimes charged, the strength of the government's proof, or the merit of the prosecution, which the government stands fully behind. You know, I don't know if anybody's been noticing, but not since the day that Trump got elected as the new president that's going to be coming in, the day before and days before that and weeks before that, when the Democrats knew, okay, that they didn't have a snowball's chance in hell, all right, for Kamala to win the election, I don't know if anybody's seen, but there was a shift of everything turning around, okay, and now they're trying to spoon feed the masses, making it seem like, you know what, just because we're dropping the charges, because supposedly you can't prosecute an incoming president, okay, or a standing president, they're still going to say that regardless of that, the fact remains the same that Donald Trump is guilty. The way I see it, okay, is that the closer we got to election day, the more they knew that they were not going to win, because they knew they were lying to the government was lying to the public. So they started basically slowing it down, and now it's funny how all these cases are falling apart, and or, okay, they're taking their time, or they're going to reschedule it, or whatever the case is. As a matter of fact, one of the cases, I believe, is the case in New York with Judge Marchone or Marcone, whichever way you pronounce his name. Supposedly they're talking about putting if I'm wrong, leave it in the comments. I believe they call it putting a stay or something like that. I'm not too sure what the term is, but that they can pick the case back up in 2029. Okay, I think personally, all these people are guilty, and them knowing that Donald Trump is coming in and the team that he's putting together, I think they're trying to basically, for lack of a better term, I think that they're basically kissing ass because they're afraid, and they know that they're all going to be investigated. Okay, that's just the way I see it. Okay, but we're going to continue with this and jump on to the next news clips. Here we go.
Stands fully behind. Smith described the election interference charges against Mr. Trump in stark terms when he announced them last year, calling January.
You know, I'm going to jump in again real quick. I am getting so sick and tired, and I've been noticing it, okay? These people on the left, they talk so much about respect and all that, okay? Listen to the way she still addresses President Trump.
Election interference charges against Mr. Trump in stark.
Right there, she goes, Mr. Trump. I was watching another video clip a couple of days ago, and the reporter referred to Barack Obama as former President Barack Obama. Okay, as a matter of fact, it was the incident with the person that killed his family. Okay, where he left a Facebook post of Barack Obama. He left 4 names: Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Donald Trump. Okay, and then in the article, which I didn't point out because I did do a video on the article, this was a couple of days ago, they wrote down former President Barack Obama, President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and Donald Trump. That's the way they put it. Not former president or president-elect. No, they just put Donald Trump. And now this woman is saying Mr. Trump. No, that is Mr. President to you. Okay? The same way you try to force feed everybody else to address you people on the left by your title is the same way you will address, whether you want to address it or not. Get it through your heads. Okay? He is your president now. Okay? Plain and simple. But let's continue.
Terms when he announced them last year, calling January 6th an assault on democracy.
It was fueled by lies.
Yeah, no kidding.
Lies by the defendant, targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election.
A Trump spokesman saying in part, quote, today's decision by the DOJ ends the unconstitutional federal cases against President Trump and is a major victory for the rule of law. Smith's filing leaves the door open to revisiting the charges in the future.
Right.
The statute of limitations is set to expire during the next Trump term, meaning unless there's an intervention to pause the clock, it appears an unprecedented chapter in American legal and political history is closed. And
here's the thing with that, okay? They're saying that into his presidency that the statute of limitations is gonna run out. Here's the thing: there should be no statute of limitations. Number one, okay, because everything that Jack Smith keeps regurgitating is a lie. Okay, the people that truly want to know the truth have seen the real evidence. Trump never once coerced anybody into doing what they did at the Capitol on January 6th. That's the truth. Those are the facts, plain and simple. I know that the left is going to lose their mind, okay? Today, tomorrow, the next couple of weeks, whatever the case is, okay? But the truth is the truth. The person that they should be investigating, and I truly hope and pray, and I'm being serious, I truly hope and pray that they investigate Nancy Pelosi and all the people, okay, that were involved on the left, and that when they finally showed the proof that it was their fault, that people truly get convicted and go to prison. I understand that Trump says that he wants to beat them by making the economy better. I get that. That's all fine and good. But in my opinion, here's the thing. They're not slowing down one bit with their rhetoric. And once he is sworn in, it's going to amp up even more. If anybody thinks that it's going to stop for the next 4 years, you're mistaken. Okay? I mean, look at what's going on right now. Okay? The way Ukraine was given the green light to use U.S. weapons against Russia. Knowing very well that Trump says that he wants to put an end to that war. Somebody had to go and make the decision to tell Ukraine, take the next step. Okay? they're not stopping on the left. And I personally think that, you know what, whoever Trump appoints in his cabinet that would have the power to go after Pelosi and Schumer or whoever was involved, that they would get the green light and do it. It's been far too long letting these crooked Democrats, okay, get away with their nonsense. But now let's go to the next video clip and let's see how they explain this news. Here we go.
Now to a developing story out of Washington. U.S. Special Counsel Jack Smith is looking to drop charges in 2 of the legal cases against President-elect Donald Trump. Smith is filing to dismiss charges related to Trump's attempt to overturn the 2020 election results, and in the case related to the mishandling of classified documents. Journalist Benji Heyer has the details from Washington.
Well, Andrew, it looks like that Donald Trump is going to escape trial for both the case regarding election interference in 2020, those alleged...
I love the way he says right off the bat that Trump is going to escape trial. You know, this is put out by CBS, okay? So it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't. They just can't let it go. They have to keep using all these terms, all these trigger words, keep using this jargon, this kind of agenda, just to keep pushing a narrative that's not true. Let it go. You're not going to convince anybody. The election happened. 70% of the population, 76% of the population decided to vote for Trump, and a big ton of people on the left left the left, okay, because of your lies. Okay, because of your propaganda.
Attempts to overturn the election that he lost to Joe Biden, and as we'll touch upon in a moment, his alleged mishandling of classified documents. Let's start with that 2020 election case. The special counsel Jack Smith in the last hour or so moving to dismiss charges against the former president, and he says that this is down to the fact that the Justice Department has a policy which bars the prosecution of a sitting president. Now, we're in unprecedented waters over here.
A policy? Really? Is that what they call policy? It should have been policy not to even start, okay, a case like this. They knew from the beginning, okay? And if you ask me, like I said, they're all dropping all these charges against Trump, whether it's in New York or Atlanta or wherever the hell it is, Washington. These people are folding because they know that, like I said, Trump is putting in bulldogs to take over the FBI, Department of Justice, all that. And any one of them, the same way Mayorkas and I forgot the other weasel's name, the same way they took it upon themselves, okay, to open up cases, and Biden had nothing to do with it supposedly. They know that if that's going to be the case, that's the same thing that Trump's bulldogs are going to do. And there's not a damn thing they can say or do about it, because they basically are going to do the same thing that they did. Okay? Not saying that they're going to use any of these departments to do anything nefarious, but you wanted to play by those rules? Well, now is going to be rules for thee also. Here we go.
Because Donald Trump was charged as a private citizen and is not yet a sitting president. But this document by the Justice Department says that precedent dictates that ultimately they will have to remove those charges from him and bring this case to an end. So ultimately what's happened is that even if Donald Trump has not won in the courtroom, he has won at the ballot box, and that is enough to effectively put an end to his legal challenges that once threatened his freedom, and to consign these outstanding trials to the ash heap of history, both this election interference case and, as I mentioned, that alleged hoarding of classified documents. That case.
Well, first of all, there was no election interference, number one, because if you want to say there was election interference because he was telling people on the phone, find me those ballots, then that means that right now California is interfering in this election, okay? Because it's going on, what, 20 days now? I think as of yesterday it was 18 days, or the day before. So we're probably going on 20 days that they're still counting 18 million votes. Okay, Pennsylvania, okay, is up to no good also with ballot counting. So if anybody is doing any kind of election interference, it's going on by the left. Okay? Because, and if it's not, then that means that by Trump asking somebody, whoever he called and said, find me those ballots, that means that, you know what, he was in his right to do so, because that's exactly what they're doing right now in California. They're trying to find the ballots, okay, in order for them to say that California, which I believe, this is just what I believe California actually did turn red during the election. Okay? Because it should not take this long to finish tallying up which party won California. But, you know, when it comes to the left, everything they do is fine. If you try to follow suit and do the same, no, you're guilty as sin.
The case was actually dismissed by a Trump-appointed judge this summer. There was an appeal, and now it is effectively being abandoned today by the Justice Department. His sentencing in his hush money case, you might recall, also postponed last week following that Supreme Court ruling, which grants him presidential immunity.
Right.
And Benji, what has Trump said about this case?
Well, already a statement out from the president-elect. He says today's decision by the Department of Justice ends, quote, the unconstitutional federal cases against President Trump, and he calls it a major victory for the rule of law. It continues, the American people and President Trump, this statement said, want an immediate end to the political weaponization, he calls it, of the justice system, and that he looks forward to uniting the country. The reality is that having largely evaded America's justice system, Donald Trump now has the power as a president-to-be to weaponize it in his favor as soon as he takes office. Drop these...
Okay, this freaking shill is pissing me off. He goes and says Trump largely evaded. No, he basically let everything play out the way it should have played out. Okay? Evading is packing your shit and moving to another country. Like, I don't know, people that are on the Diddy list, like one of them so far, and I'm sure there's going to be more, I don't know, like Ellen DeGeneres, okay? But that's a whole different topic. I'm going to digress on that. But that's trying to evade prosecution or something like that, okay? Trump basically stayed in the country, okay? Paid his lawyers to go and handle the business, okay? And no matter what the left threw at him, they had nothing that was concrete, that was true, and that could stick. But they just needed to keep pushing the lie and pushing the lie and pushing the lie. Okay, and in turn, what it got them was that more people, okay, woke up and said, you know what, I'm tired of this, I'm going to vote for Trump. And then the people that definitely would not vote for Trump, okay, or even like think about leaving the Democrat Party, they just decided to skip on the Democrat Party, okay, by not watching mainstream media, certain content creators, and the likes. And they're like, you know what? You lied to us. You made us think that he was going to lose because you had all the proof against him, and he won. You failed. Okay? So this man could keep using words like evade or whatever the case is, and it's like, dude, it doesn't matter whether you're American or not, okay? Anybody with half a brain can look at all this and say, you know what? This whole thing was a scam from the beginning. This whole thing was a setup, okay, from the beginning. That's why so many people around the world were watching this election. So many people around the world are happy that Trump won. So many people around the world were supporting Trump and his constituents, okay? While so many people around the world have been pushing back on the left, not only in the US, but worldwide. Your leftist regime is crumbling. So use all the trigger words you want to make it seem like, you know what, whether he's innocent or not, we're still going to push this agenda. Nobody's buying it. And the ones that are, I shouldn't say nobody's buying it, there are a few that's buying it. It doesn't work because you lost. That's it.
Cases, if the process hasn't already begun, and that has begun today, or indeed go after his political enemies. He didn't get the first Attorney General of his choice, but he now has a nominee for that role, and he will take charge with a trifecta of power over Washington to try to shape this country in his vision and push through his agenda.
That is,
Yeah, he's over here saying that he didn't get the attorney general of his choice. In case nobody's reading through the tea leaves, okay, if you ask me, I think this was all a setup with Trump for a certain purpose. I always said that Trump plays a game of chess. What a lot of people are not understanding, and we'll wait and see how this plays out, by him putting Pam Bondi as his AG, Pam Bondi has the power to appoint Matt Gaetz to a different position. Okay? So if they think that, you know what, that they got over on him, that he wasn't able to put Matt Gaetz as his attorney general, all you did was play into his move. That's all you did. Okay? When it comes to this game, that Trump, see, when they try to go after Trump the first 4 years, okay, and they embedded their moles and their shills, Trump learned a lot from that. And now he knows how to move his chess pieces. Okay? And this is why these cases are dropping and so many people are running scared. I mean, it's getting to the point that people on MSNBC are in full panic mode. Okay? I mean, there's even a video out there. I haven't confirmed it yet, but I see some of it. Just don't know until I do a little more research. But they're showing Rachel Maddow crying, okay, during one of her segments. And it's like, I wonder why. But enough of this video. Let's go to a news clip that I just came across from Australia and see what they have to say. Here we go. Okay, before I play this last clip, people, don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, join the channel, help this channel and this movement grow. It's greatly appreciated. Here we go.
Welcome back to the show. And breaking news out of the US, Special Counsel Jack Smith has filed a motion to dismiss Donald Trump's federal election interference case.
Let's bring in former White House and Pentagon operative Tony Shaffer. Tony, good to see you. So if Jack Smith is abandoning this case, it's dead in the water, right?
It is. Look, he's already abandoned the classified documents case regarding Mar-a-Lago, and also there was questions regarding his legitimacy as a special prosecutor. My friend and mentor, Ed Meese, who was the Attorney General under Ronald Reagan, actually had put together documents which resulted in his being essentially dismissed in the Florida case because of not being a legitimate special counsel. So at this point, Sarah, that case, this case, it's all over. I think...
Okay, I'm going to cut into it quick. Now, this is coming from Australia, and this man basically said that, you know what, Jack Smith is a fraud. Why didn't the other two news clips from America say that? Why couldn't they just say what he said, that Jack Smith is an illegitimate prosecutor? Because that's the truth. Okay? They've been saying it for the longest. But Trump has been letting it play out. They want to keep using him, go right ahead. It's going to fall flat on his face. Okay? And Jack Smith knows this. It's funny how we have to listen to somebody being interviewed from people in Australia in order for us to hear this, but the first two news clips that I show you that are based in America won't say that about Jack Smith.
At this point, that entire staff will be dismissed within, I'd say, less than 2 weeks.
Wow. Good news for Trump, isn't it?
All right, meantime, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, well, we were all waiting for this. They've had their first little tiff. Talk to me.
Well, I mean, nobody's going to be totally in sync all the time, and you're going to have issues that come up. Elon Musk is a brilliant man with libertarian leanings. I think you're going to see some things where they don't see eye to eye. And look, we've seen members of the cabinet say things that were not quite in sync. So I think there's going to be several things that they're going to have to sort through. Hopefully it'll be done quietly behind the scenes. Some things are going to leak out in public, and I think we're seeing a little bit of that right now.
Tony, it's taken, 2 weeks for this to happen?
Well, I guess they didn't get enough McDonald's or something to keep everybody in line, you know? So.
Fair enough.
I mean, they're two guys who generally play things out in private too.
Exactly.
They do, generally.
Love your work.
All right, well, I'll leave it at that. Okay? Whatever Tiffany's talking about, I don't know. But I guarantee you that the mainstream media is going to try to run on that and try to bring division. And if you ask me, okay, you can't put anything past Trump. Leave it up to Trump, okay, to play a hand like this just to start weeding out who's going to be leaking information, who's going to be saying what about who, and then he can say, you know what, okay, since you leaked this information, you're being kicked out. Okay, just like last week, I think it was, they said that Elon Musk had a beef at a dinner with one of somebody else in Trump's cabinet or his circle, and that came out, and then it was dead. And if you ask me, if that news came out and it hasn't been out since, something tells me they played that hand to find out who in his circle needs to be fired. Don't put it past Trump. Okay, Trump learned a lot since his first presidency. Okay, because there was always leaks and always people blowing stuff out of proportion and the mainstream media taking stuff and running wild with it. Don't be surprised if that's what's happening now. Because who else in his circle that is high profile would be the perfect candidate to take behind closed doors and say, listen, we need to weed out some people. We need to throw some news out there. We need to make it seem like we're not getting along so like that we can find out exactly who is really on our side. And knowing Elon, since he is the richest man on the planet, and he got like that by, by being a certain way, of course, don't be surprised if Elon said, okay, let's do this. If there's two people on the planet, and keep this in mind, people, if there's two people on the planet that know how to troll others, it's Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They prove it time and time again, how they can viciously troll people and get under their skin. So I wouldn't put too much credence into this whole new story coming out that Trump and Elon got into a tiff or whatever the case is. And if they did, hey, it's best to air it out now and get it over with, because come January, it's time to get down to business. Okay? It's time to get down to business. But with that being said, people, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. If I don't put out a video in the next couple of days, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Again, if you're new to the channel, new to the video, please subscribe. Trying to reach 3,000 subscribers soon. That'd be great if I could do that before Christmas. And also, if you guys can, if you can help support the channel, buy a t-shirt. Okay, there's only but a few left. I'd like to get the new batch going. Wanted to try to get it going before the new year, but I mean, with the way Biden's economy is going, we'll see what happens. But remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for your enemies. Pray for this country, and pray for Donald Trump. And happy Thanksgiving. Peace.